10A Part 2, where we delve into just a little bit of trigonometry for our last unit. And you might have heard the term trigonometry in terms of a type of math. What is trigonometry? Well, as you can see, this first part of the word, trigono, means triangle. And the last part of the word, this blue part, metry, means measure. And so trigonometry actually has to do with triangle measure. And the kind of triangles that we are looking at in trigonometry, they're always right triangles, meaning one of the angles is a right angle measuring 90 degrees. And these other two angles, acute angles, meaning less than 90 degrees, are often something that we're trying to find the measure of. And to do that, when we use variables, like we do when we're looking for a side length, instead of using x, we often use theta. That's our most common variable. That's a Greek word, theta, okay? A Greek letter, rather, theta. And when we're doing trig, we label our triangles just a little bit differently. We're used to just labeling our triangles leg, and then hypotenuse. And that was good practice because it gave us a sense of where that hypotenuse was and our legs. But now we need to get a little bit more specific because we're starting to include the angles, okay? And now we need to have a better way to describe the legs so that we can distinguish one from the other, okay? And the way that we do that when we label our triangle sides in trig, this is still our hypotenuse always. This long diagonal is our hypotenuse. Now when we are labeling our sides in trig, we want to label our legs with respect to theta, with respect to that angle we're looking for, which is what we'll be doing a lot of in the rest of this part of the unit and the next unit. So we want to make sure to have a very clear sense of where theta is, okay? Now let's look at how we're going to label those legs. Well, A is when we label our hypotenuse, okay, instead of labeling it HYP, which is what we've been doing, we're going to label it just H, okay? A is how we're going to label the adjacent side, which is the side touching theta, okay? So we're going to label that A. Now here's that side that's actually touching theta. Now, the only side that is not touching theta is all the way across the opposite side of the triangle from where theta is, and that we label O for opposite. Now let's look at the very same triangle. This is the exact same triangle, but theta is now in this corner, okay? This side is no longer the adjacent side because theta is now down here. So here's the adjacent side because this is the side actually touching the angle theta, okay? Now the opposite side is all the way across over here. So you see how the way we label our triangle very much has to do where theta is. Let's do another pair of triangles. Again, these are identical. I kind of nipped the top off this one, but they are identical. And of course, we're always going to start with our hypotenuse. Here's that right angle. Across from our right angle, that long diagonal is our hypotenuse. We label that with an H. The side actually touching theta here is our adjacent side. That adjacent is a word meaning next to, okay? This side that does not make up the angle theta all the way across is our opposite side. All right, now exact same triangle, exact same orientation, but now theta is in a different angle, okay? We always start with our hypotenuse directly opposite our 90-degree angle. The side touching theta is our adjacent side. The side all the way across the triangle not touching theta is our opposite side. All right, one last pair, guys. Again, the very same triangles, but we're going to see how the placement of angle theta is what determines which side is which. And this is really important. So if you don't quite get this one, rewind this video, play this video again. I guess you guys don't need to rewind anymore. When I was growing up, we had to rewind our videos. But watch it again and just get a sense of exactly how to label your triangle sides. This is going to be hugely important for the rest of this unit. Here's our 90-degree angle directly opposite our long diagonal, of course, is our hypotenuse. Okay. Now we're looking for the adjacent side, which is the side touching theta. We label that A. That side all the way across that's not touching, we label O. This last triangle, I'm just going to label with black so you guys can kind of get a sense of what it looks like when you're just working on paper. Here's angle theta. Here's our 90-degree angle. That's where we want to start. Directly opposite is the hypotenuse. The side touching theta is the adjacent side. That's meaning next to. And of course, all the way across the triangle, the side opposite theta, we label with an O for opposite. All right, so that's how we label our triangle sides in trig. This is very important. Okay, so I'm going to stop the video now and we'll have a part 2 on the rest of the introduction for trig. Thanks for watching, guys.